Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I have a fun project using this brand new Halloween Mandala Stencil from Miss Ink Stamps. Look at this, there's a witch's broom, spider webs, pumpkins, and bats in this stencil. I love it so much. And I'm going to be using some of my very favorite Halloween combinations for the ink on this. And so let's go ahead and get started. I've got a bunch of Distress Oxides here, and I'm just going to move these out of the way so that we can do one at a time. And I've got my blending brushes that I use for oxide inks. These brushes are only used for oxide inks, nothing else, no other regular inks, not the distress inks, just oxides. The reason I do that is because oxide inks are a hybrid ink, so they have a different formulation, and I find that they blend the best when they have their very own set of brushes dedicated just to them. And I really love these because they are easy to put the color on and they blend so nicely. For this one, I'm starting with Twisted Citron, and then I'm moving on with Pine Needles, and then one of my favorites, which is Peacock Feathers, and I'm kind of going around in a circle. And I felt like this really lent itself well to inking it in a circle because it is circular itself. So it really was a really great option. The last color I'm going in with is Black Soot. I've just re-inked this, so it is very juicy. So I'm trying to be very careful with it because it's pretty juicy. Nice ink here. And look at this beautiful result with those colors. It's gorgeous. I love those colors. Now I'll clean up and I'm going to move on to my second Halloween color combination. This one I'm using a variety of yellows and oranges, and I'm going to start with the Scattered Straw, and I found that it was a little too muted for me, so I'm going in with the Fossilized Amber. Look how bright this is. In fact, I was surprised it was so bright. I had to double check and make sure I had the right color there. But it is Fossilized Amber. Then I'm going to go in with Dried Marigold, which is a lighter orange. And finally, I'll go with the Spiced Marmalade. This one is much brighter, and I'm going around the edges with these as well. I did, again, all of these in a circular pattern just because the stencil was circular, but you really don't have to do it in a circular pattern. Try it different ways and see what you like. Now you may have thought that was my last color for this combination, but I am going to also bring in Crackling Campfire. This color is wow. Look at that beautiful fiery orange. So I'll go around all the edges with the Crackling Campfire, and that's going to finish this up. This one reminds me a little bit of Candy Corns. I wanted to do a little brighter in the center there, so I'm adding a little more yellow. And there is our second panel. Aren't those pumpkins just so cool? They're really neat. For my last favorite Halloween color combo, I'm going to start with a light purple. This is Milled Lavender, and then I'm going to move on in with Wilted Violet, and I'll go lastly with the Black Soot again. Now this one I did just a small amount of the purples and more of the black to bring in that kind of spooky feeling. I really think this color combo is neat. And I'm going to turn all of these into cards too, so stay tuned. I'll be sharing that in just a minute. Just finishing up this one here with this mandala stencil. Isn't this stencil so neat? And really, to finish out the cards, you don't need a lot because the stencil has so much design to it. It's beautiful. So here's our purple and black. There's our greens and blue and black, and this is our yellows and oranges. I'm going to take the Ghosts from Miss Ink Stamps new release, and also a sentiment from their Halloween Sentiment new release stamp, and I'm going to stamp that in VersaFine Onyx black ink, and then I will heat emboss that. So this I'm going to stamp a couple of times just to make sure I get a really nice dark impression. I love this large spooky sentiment. This is, the Halloween Sentiment stamp set is probably a favorite Halloween Sentiment stamp set I've ever had. So love it. I'm just gonna use a dry paintbrush to get off some of the excess embossing powder. Heat set that. It's got a few sparkles to it, so it's a black sparkly embossing powder, and I'll just add those ghosts right around the edges, and we'll turn that into a card. For the green and black one, I'm going to color up this black cat. This is from the new Feline Spooky stamp set. I'm using the re-inker from the Distress Oxide, but I'm also using a dark blue and a gray Zig Clean Color Real Brush marker. I just placed that on my craft mat, and now I'm picking up the color with my water brush and adding it just a little bit here and there. I'm underpainting with the navy blue and the gray because I wanted it to have kind of like a blue undertone to it. And then I'll go over it with the black soot oxide re-inker. And it's going to make for an interesting black cat with some blue undertones. So this is really simple to do. I'm not adding a lot of water because this is regular cardstock I'm using. It's not watercolor paper, just regular cardstock. So you can see if you're very careful and you don't go with a lot of water, you can still get a nice result. I have a feeling that this cat should be black, but you could obviously color it any color you want. And for this purple and black one, I'm going to stamp the Trick or Treat sentiment from the Halloween Sentiment stamp set, and I'm going to heat emboss it in silver. This looks really cool in silver, and I actually heat emboss it 3 times. So after I heat emboss the first time, I let it dry and cool off for just a little bit. Then I put it back in my MISTI and re-ink that with the clear sticky ink. This is VersaMark ink, and go right over what I've already embossed, add another layer of the embossing powder, heat set that, and I do that 3 times. So this way you get a really raised, beautiful look. It kind of looks like a metal embellishment almost on the top there. And to finish this one off, I'm going to add a few silver sequins just to match that silver embossing powder. But look how cool, you really don't need much more than that. You see those pumpkins and the spider webs. So here is our cat card that I watercolored. It says Feline Witchy. Black is such a happy color. And here's our Trick or Treat that we heat embossed in the silver with the purples and the blacks, and then the orange one that we finished off with the ghosts and that spooky sentiment. So see how easy it is to pull some cards together. I hope you enjoyed this look at my favorite Halloween color combinations, and I hope that I inspired you to try some yourself. These were really fun and easy to put together, especially when you have a fun stencil like this. But try these color combos with any stencil you have, or just do some inking and blending with the colors and no stencil at all. Super fun techniques with these colors. I will be back real soon with more card making inspiration. Just want to thank you for stopping by today. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back soon with more cards. Bye-bye.